Corrupt members of a top-tier branch of Mexico's special forces created this organization. In the 1990s, the head of the Gulf Cartel employed over 30 ex-soldiers, but in 2010, they broke away and established their own business. Following that, the two cartels engaged in a bloody brawl. For their savagery, which frequently involved torturing and beheading their victims, the Zetas rose to prominence in particular. The Zetas' power had peaked by the year 2012. They were estimated to be active in more than half of Mexico's states and were ranked as the nation's largest drug gang, surpassing their fierce rivals the Sinaloa. Beyond drug dealing, they began to engage in any form of criminal activity that would earn them money, such as human trafficking. However, one of its leaders was killed in a shootout with the Mexican government forces later in 2012. Miguel Angel Trevillo Morales, who took his place, was arrested. In 2015, his younger brother Omar Trevillo Morales took over but was also arrested. The cartel's demise officially started at that point. The Zetas split, allowing rival groups to establish supremacy due to a lack of leadership. The Jalisco cartel expanded to engulf the Zetas' territory, which caused the Zetas to lose ground. Although the gang has been weakened by internal conflicts, it still poses a threat. Being one of Mexico's oldest criminal organizations, the Gulf Cartel became well known for smuggling drugs into the U.S., including cocaine and marijuana. Along with working closely with Colombian gangs, it is also suspected of smuggling heroin and amphetamines. The Gulf Cartel allegedly made billions of dollars annually from drug trafficking by the 1990s. In order to keep officials on its side, it engaged in political corruption and bribery to sustain this network. Juan Garca Abrego, the first Mexican drug lord to appear on the FBI's list of the 10 most wanted people, served as the cartel's initial leader. In 1996, he was apprehended and sentenced to life in prison in the U.S. The military component of the cartel was expanded by his heir, Ociel Cardenas Guillen. He promoted an even more brutal strategy and hired some dishonest special forces personnel. Cardenas was taken into custody in 2003 and is now incarcerated in the U.S. for 25 years. In a confrontation with Mexican troops in 2010, his brother, the cartel's top official, Ezequiel Cardenas Guillen, was killed. The cartel then broke up into numerous sections, each with a separate boss. It has suffered as a result, and now it is fighting a bloody territorial war with rival cartels. The Jalisco cartel, which was established in or around 2010, is Sinaloa's strongest and most vicious rival. The organization has rapidly spread throughout Mexico and is currently among the most powerful cartels in the nation. The cartel is headed by Ruben Oseguera, a former police officer known as El Mencho, who is the most sought-after man in Mexico and has a $10 million reward for his capture. According to the U.S. authorities, it is a major player on the black market for amphetamine in the U.S. and Europe and is rumored to have connections to the Asian drug trade. Recent years have seen a significant increase in its authority, which has been fueled by its use of severe violence. The cartel is known for its numerous assaults on law enforcement and government personnel. In order to intimidate its opponents, it has been known to hang the bodies of its victims from bridges. It has also used rocket-propelled grenades to bring down an army helicopter and kill dozens of state officials. It is still the most aggressive cartel in Mexico, and the ongoing wave of violence plaguing Tijuana, Juarez, Guanajuato, and Mexico City is largely a result of its efforts to increase its area of influence. One of the largest drug trafficking organizations in the world is the Sinaloa cartel. Joaquin Guzman, also known as El Chapo, the legendary drug lord, led it for many years after it was established in the late 1980s. The cartel developed a fierce reputation for violence under his leadership and defeated several adversaries. During Guzman's protracted leadership, the Sinaloa reportedly became the main supplier of illegal drugs to the U.S. Rival criminal gang members were abducted, tortured, and killed by the Sinaloa cartel. It also had access to different weapons, including an AK-47 with gold plating owned by Guzman. However, the drug lord was sentenced to life in prison in July 2019. Guzman was accused of trafficking cocaine, heroin, and marijuana while also employing a network of dealers, kidnappers, and assassins, according to the prosecution. As other gangs tried to profit from his imprisonment, there was further bloodshed, but the Sinaloa cartel is still incredibly powerful in spite of this. According to experts, it also keeps smuggling illegal drugs into the US, Europe, and Asia for billions of dollars. The cartel is thought to be largely controlled by Mr. Guzman's son, Ovidio Guzman Lopez, with its longtime leader now in prison. Gunmen from the Sinaloa cartel were quick to show off their organization's power after the younger Guzman was detained by the security services in October 2019. Before their leader was eventually released, they engaged in open-air street skirmishes with the police, and set vehicles on fire until the Mexican president, Andrés Manuel López Obrador, personally ordered his release.